With the exploding interest in Chromebooks, we have seen the computer industry step up to the plate with newer and more powerful models this summer. Never before are more users moving away from the Windows platform and embracing Chromebooks. Because users are replacing their PCs with Chromebooks, the industry has produced faster devices that will match the demand of a dedicated user. I've spent the last 4 years writing, teaching, and using Chromebooks, so it is with some satisfaction that I see the popularity soaring. When the Starship Enterprise was attacked by the Borgs, a command became famous, quote, "Resistance is futile." If you are watching this presentation with an interest in switching to a Chromebook, the time has come. Make the switch. I want to just play a video for you now. This is an advertisement for Chromebooks. This is produced by Google and will be run as ads this fall, but I thought it was a good way to start out the presentation. Please do not adjust your screen. We'll talk at the end of this video.
A serious error has occurred. A serious error has occurred. A serious error.
All right, on with the show. If I can just get up here. Come on. All right. The goals of the presentation today is first to identify the changing role of Chromebooks. Second is to review new models that have come out for 2018. I want to talk about new features of the Chrome operating system, the Play Store, Linux applications, progressive web apps, and of course the new Windows 10. Running Windows 10 on Chromebooks. Kevin Toffel from About Chromebooks announced the past 2 weeks that Google has been has a project going ahead. It's called Project Campfire. And this is where you'll be able to dual boot a Chromebook into either the Windows operating system or the Chrome operating system. This is coming in the future. We don't know when. Examples of this on a Mac would be using Boot Camp. Last year, Satya Nadella wrote a book called Hit Refresh. I had the opportunity to purchase that book and read it. In his book, he talks about resetting Microsoft goals. He talks about Microsoft will be the innovator of new technology. He talks about a kinder, gentler company, but more important, he talks about Microsoft may not be the dominant operating system in the future. And I thought that was a very interesting statement. If you look at the Chromebooks and their exploding popularity, people are looking for alternatives. Chromebooks are being tasked to be replacements for Microsoft Windows. In the summer of 2018, right now, we have newer and more powerful models released. This year has marked Linux support and support for progressive web apps. Also, your Android apps are able to run on a Chromebook. If you look on the slide on the right-hand side, you'll see the number of apps available in 2017. Clearly, Android and the Google Play Store is the most commonly used operating system we have today. Let's talk a bit about the history of Chromebooks. I don't want to dwell too much on this, but Chromebooks first came to pass in 2011 when Acer and Samsung started to market them. These were sold directly to school boards and to business partners. If you went to Staples or you went to Best Buy, they have never heard of a Chromebook. Chromebooks were used in the schools and businesses because of security and networks. The market education share by 2020 will be about 80% in the United States. So by 2020, 80% of all computers used in classrooms in the United States will be Chromebooks. The Consumer Electronics Show in 2017 marked the first year of consumer-grade Chromebooks that you could purchase at Best Buy or Staples. We were now able, in 2017, to actually go to a store and buy a Chromebook. And they expect a very large growth over the next 3 years. So last year, about 17 million Chromebooks were used in our schools. This year, we have consumer-grade Chromebooks being released. You now can go to Best Buy, you can buy to Staples, and you can buy a Chromebook. Businesses using these machines because of security and travel. This is a slide sent to me by Judy Taylor, an APCUG board member, and this is from her school. Her high school just purchased 23,000 Chromebooks. These will be used for junior and senior high school students throughout this year and next. And this is an example of the popularity of Chromebooks. I want to talk a little bit about the Chrome operating system. Before you, you're going to see 3 pictures. You're going to see a picture at the top. This is a picture I want you to think about as the Microsoft operating system. It's a big, big, big thing. It's a big truck. Over on the right-hand side, you'll see the Apple. It also is a big general purpose operating system.
Okay, you can say it.
You'll see...
Alexa, what's on my calendar tonight?
You'll see, I think we have somebody else joining us.
At 6 p.m. there's Hey Google, what's on my calendar tonight?
You have a calendar entry today at 6 p.m. The
Dave.
title is Alexa, what's on my calendar tonight?
Tonight.
I think we've got some other people online with us.
You have a calendar entry today at 6 p.m. The title is Alexa, what's on my calendar tonight?
Dave.
Tonight, there is one event. At 6 p.m. there's Hey Google,
I don't
what's
see
on my
anybody with a
calendar
microphone,
tonight?
and it's not me.
It's not me. I have no idea where that's coming from.
6 p.m. The title is Alexa, what's on my calendar tonight?
Do you know what where that's coming from?
Do you have a landline phone, or would you like to have a landline phone but don't want to pay a monthly subscription for it? In this video, I'm going to show you how to leverage your existing internet service to provide phone service for your landline phones without a subscription. How is that even possible, you ask? Is this real life? Stick around.
Sorry about that. I guess that video kept going. All right, Dave, are we okay?
Yeah, we're okay. As I said, I don't know where the other one came from, and I apologize.
Yeah, no, I think it was it came on. So let's continue on. Oh, hold on. All right, so we're back, and we're now looking at the operating systems. Again, the Chrome operating system, as in the bottom here, is a very small operating system as depicted by the Mazda Miata here. Now, because the Chrome is such a small operating system, it will run on any platform. And I wanted just everybody to be aware of Neverware, which is a company. You can Google www.neverware.com, who provides the Chrome operating system free of charge for you to use on any older computers. So if you have any computers sitting around the house, they have old versions of Windows 95, but the hardware still works, you can actually install the Chromium operating system and actually have a fully functioning computer running Chrome. It's free for personal use. There's no cost for this. This is used widely in educational and business uses to reuse older machines. And this is a good service, and I would strongly encourage you to use this. To make a Chromebook, you need what we call a TPM chip. This is made by Google, and if you look over to the right here, you'll see this is what it looks like. A TPM chip is a chip made by Google, and it is if you try to break this chip, you try to get into the chip, it will self-destruct. It's also encrypted to military standard, and if you are going to be Acer, you're going to be Lenovo, any of the companies that make Chromebooks, you have to put this chip into your Chromebook. So the Chromebook will come with this TPM chip, and this is what makes it so secure. Now, when you boot up a Chromebook, there's actually 2 copies of the Chrome operating system that will be running. There will be a primary copy and a secondary copy. Now, you don't need to know that, but just to know that there are 2 copies. When it first boots up, the first copy will, your primary copy will go through the TPM chip and do a quick scan, and it will look for any malware, any changes in the operating system. If none are found, it will continue to load. If they find any, then it will go on to the secondary copy and load the second copy. If the second copy is corrupted, it will go onto the internet, download a fresh copy of the Chrome operating system, and boot it from there. From the first pass, it then does a second pass and a third pass, a deep pass, prior to firing up. And if it does all 3 passes and it compares itself to the TPM chip, then it will load your operating system. This makes a Chromebook one of the most secure. It is the most secure computer today that we have. Now, the other thing that makes a Chromebook so secure is, and I want to draw your attention to on the right-hand side, two types of operating systems. The first is a traditional operating system, such as Microsoft's Windows 10. Now, I'm sure everyone understands when you add a program to Windows 10, what does it do? It adds a lot of components to Windows 10. It changes the registry. It puts DLL files. It adds a lot of components into the operating system. This what makes viruses so dangerous, is because if a virus attacks that program, it actually affects the operating system. In the Chrome operating system, it doesn't work like that. There are no programs. There are only apps. And the apps don't actually have any contact with the operating system. In fact, the operating system treats the apps as hostile. So there is no way in which the apps have any connection to the operating system. In addition, we call this sandboxing. Each tablet that you open up in the Chrome operating system is contained. So if you have any malware, any sites you've been to, and something happens, it's contained within that tab. And when you close that tab, the problem goes away. So again, it's a very, very secure system. This is totally different than your traditional operating system. Also, I just wanted to remind everybody that the secondary copy of your Chrome operating system is the one that is updated, so you never have to worry, as in Microsoft Windows, where you're in the middle of a presentation and it wants to update your system. So with automatic updates, sandboxing, verified boot, and data encryption, and the recovery mode, this makes the Chromebook a very, very secure machine. I wanted to briefly go over the history of how these were released. And prior to 2.5, 3 years ago, you could not buy a Chromebook at Staples or Best Buy. The only way you could buy a Chromebook was on Amazon, and these machines usually filtered through the education system, and they were probably overruns, and then the distributors put them on Amazon as a distribution and seller. This is an example of one. It's the Lenovo N22. I've bought a couple of these for our computer club, and we give them away to promote Chromebooks. I've seen them as low as about $150. These are produced for primary education. They work actually well if you just want some very minimal tasks for them. But this led to the misconception that Chromebooks are inexpensive computers. They're good for just checking email and surfing, and Chromebooks are only for web browsing. Those are all, of course, myths. And that is by and large changed now with what I call consumer grade Chromebooks, which are now available at Best Buy and Staples. You can go and actually visit a salesman. You can actually go to the store and you can actually buy a machine. Now, I want to talk about these models here, that you see before you. If you look on the left side, you'll see the Samsung Chromebook Pro and the Samsung Chromebook Plus. These two models, although they look different in the picture, are identical. There is no difference between these two machines. They are identical machines. The only difference being is the core processor being in the Pro, it was an Intel, and in the Plus, it was an ARM. We'll talk about that in a minute. So the first consumer-grade Chromebook that was produced, and it was in 2017, was by Samsung, called the Samsung Chromebook Plus, and this is the one that was first introduced. And when it came out, there was a huge pent-up demand because nobody was able to buy a consumer-grade Chromebook, and this is the first model that came out. When it first came out, it was around $800. The demand was just crazy for this machine. It settled down to be around $450 and frequently on sale for about $420. Samsung was upfront about this. They told us that first of all, they would market the Chromebook Plus, and about 8 months later, the Chromebook Pro would come out. So the Chromebook Plus was a huge success. This is the one that I purchased, and it was actually on sale last Black Friday, and I picked this up for $340. Following the introduction of the Plus came the Pro, and this had a faster processor in it, and this was the core. This was the Intel M3. Now, what separated these two machines from most other machines was the spectacular screen that Samsung put in. These screens were 2400 by 1600. An article I read said that it cost Samsung at least $500 for the screen alone on these machines. These were incredibly good screens, and if you look at the brightness on it, on the nit scale, it was the brightest of an industry at 400. These were amazing screens on two excellent machines. Also, just about the time that these two machines came on the market, Asus brought out their Chromebook Flip C302. This is still an excellent machine today. The screen is by industry standard a very good one, but not quite as bright as the Samsung Chromebook Pro or the Plus. The other thing that the Asus Chromebook Flip has is it has a full-size keyboard, and that's backlit, and people really like it that are touch typists. So these are the models that we had last year to work with, and as sort of a consumer grade. Now, I wanted to, before you're going to see a picture, and this just depicts the ARM architecture for chips versus the Intel. And why I brought this up and why I wanted to show you this slide was, if you look at the ARM processor and the speed, you're going to see that by 2018, the ARM architecture is going to get faster and faster and faster, and by 2020, it's going to outpace the Intel i5 processor. Why is this important? Well, when you're considering a Chromebook and you're looking at you're going to see more and more Chromebooks having the ARM architecture. And one of the reasons why this is so important is because it needs much less power than your Intel processing chip. And this will give us much longer battery life. Now, the Chromebook Plus has now been replaced, or you can buy both versions with the Chromebook Plus V2. This is the second version that has just come out this last month, and it was reviewed by Android Central. Cost of this is about $500. They've changed it a little bit. It still has a solid aluminum build as the Chromebook Plus did. This is the V2, but they've changed the aspect ratio, and it's now a wider screen. It's like a standard standard board. It has a faster Celeron chip than the ARM chip at that time, coming in at about 30% faster, and it has a better camera. The screen they've taken away the screen, and instead of the 24 by 1600, they have the 1920 by 12. This is a very good screen, but not as good as the original one. Both these models are still available on the Samsung website, and depending on your needs, I suspect the original V1, the Chromebook Plus, is going to be heavily discounted, and it'll be an excellent buy for the next few months. The Samsung Chromebook Pro will likely be replaced as well. They did upgrade the Pro, and it now has a backlit keyboard. We expect this September or this fall that this model will be replaced. They're talking about having it LTE enabled and changing the processor, but I have no further information yet. When I told you that there was no consumer grade Chromebooks available for a period of time, that wasn't entirely true. Google has made the Pixelbook right from since the start. The Pixelbook is a business quality computer. It can be configured in many different ways and starts at about $1,000. It has, again, that very, very nice screen that I talked about in the Chromebook Plus and Pro, and it is a spectacular machine. It is available. Again, you can go to Staples or Best Buy and you can see this machine. This is a business quality computer. As I said, it has you can have it configured with the i5, i7, and a variety of hard drives on it. Again, it looks like the Pixel 2 will be out this fall. Again, we haven't seen the specifications on that yet. It's rumored that it'll be out somewhere in the fall. Now, this summer, the big announcement was made by Hewlett-Packard. The Hewlett-Packard brought out the HP Chromebook 2. It's called actually the X2. This is a very, very good model. This is going to come in starting at about $600. This is what I am going to call the Chromebook, the Pixelbook killer. As soon as Hewlett-Packard released this about 3 weeks ago, Google's Pixelbook dropped by $250. So you were able to get the base Pixelbook for around $750. This is going to provide big competition for the Pixelbook. It's going to be a very, very popular model. What it is it's a Chromebook. It has a detachable screen, so you can make it. You can have it either as a tablet or as a regular flip tablet. It's going to be competitive to the Microsoft Surface Go. The reviews so far are excellent. It has the Core M processor, an Intel's graphics card, and some pretty good specifications. In addition, it has my favorite screen again from Samsung. They have put the 2400 by 1600 screen in here, so you have this very, very high resolution screen. Comes with a stylus, touch screen. It's going to be offered in different configurations, and I think this will be a very, very big seller for Hewlett-Packard. This is a good alternative to the Pixelbook. And Robbie Payne, who writes for Chrome Unboxed, reviewed this recently, and it said, I was shocked by the score, but the real world use actually aligns with these speeds. This thing is a performance beast. I'd say buy it. You won't be disappointed. So it's already getting excellent reviews. So this is the Hewlett-Packard Chromebook X2. Now, also this summer, the first Chromebook tablet was released by Acer. Acer produces many fine Chromebooks. They are a very high-quality producer of excellent machines, and they produced the first Chromebook tablet called the Acer Tab 10. Now, this was released about 3 weeks ago, and when it was released, they said that it would not be available for general consumers and that would only be available in the education market. As soon as they announced it, I picked this off of the Staples website, and it's available now for at Best Buy or Staples for $339. Again, it's probably going to be aimed directly at the iPad, particularly in the education market, for that last 20% of computers that are probably used by 20% of devices used in schools. They're probably still going to be iPads. This will be a direct competition for that. And again, it comes with a very high-res screen as well, a very bright screen, and I think will be a big winner. So this is available now for purchase, and I'm going to actually buy one of these to replace my wife's aging Kindle. They already have a native case for this for around $40, and a lot of other companies such as Belkin have already started to produce screens for this model. So this is the Chromebook Tab 10. I wanted just to pause for a minute and talk briefly about, and just remind everybody that Chromebooks, particularly if you buy them on Amazon, not all Chromebooks can run Android apps. Google made an announcement about 2 years ago which shocked everyone and said you will now be able to run Android apps on Chromebooks. And indeed, any Chromebook that has been made in the last 2 years and all Chromebooks moving forward, you will be able to run all the Android apps in the Play Store on a Chromebook. However, if you purchase a computer online or one that was produced prior to this, you may not have the opportunity to run the Google Play Store. Not all Chromebooks are created equally, and certainly some of the ones that were over 2 years ago will not allow you to download or play Android apps. The other thing that's important is that I feel that touch screens are extremely important. I think using Windows 10 and using it in tablet mode with a touch screen, I sort of find creepy, and I've never really been able to get a handle on that. But because Android apps are used on our phones, and we're so used to using them with a touch screen, I think it's very important that you make sure that if you buy a Chromebook, that you buy it with a touch screen. Most do come with touch screens. I wanted to bring up another product called the Chromebox. Well, we've talked about Chromebooks, which are laptops. They have screens and keyboards. You also have the ability to buy what we call a Chromebox. This is a new one created, produced by a company called CTL. And what this is it's a Chromebook. It's a little box. There are no moving parts in there. It has a TPM chip. It has the operating system, and all you have to do is you can plug a monitor into it. You can Bluetooth a keyboard to it or plug it in. Same with the mouse, and you have a fully functioning Chromebox, and it connects to the internet, and away you go. And because there are no screens there, or there's no mouse or keyboard, this brand new model is $228. Very inexpensive. This will last for years. There's no heat problems or moving parts. I want to talk briefly about a friend of mine, Jim and Chris Gould, run a website called geeksontour.com. They did a show the other day on video editing with Chromebooks. Now, 2 years ago, I gave a talk and said, well, Chromebooks are okay, but they're not really powerful enough to edit videos, which was a common question I always got. However, Jim, after a scuba diving visit, our holiday, decided to edit his movies, and he found if you go on the App Store or the Google Play, the iOS or the Google Play Store, you can find a free. It's the GoPro app. It's called Quick. It's free, and you can download it. And it downloads just fine on a Chromebook. And in fact, I use Camtasia on a PC to do my video editing, but this actually works almost as good. It's really cool. It works just fine. It's an Android app, and it runs just fine on a Chromebook. If you want to watch their video on how to do this, you can head over to geeksontour.com, and you can have a look at their video on that. We're going to see 2 new models coming out by Acer this fall. This will be in September, and they are going to be what we call, the 2 models are the Chromebook Spin 13 and the Chromebook 13. These are going to be direct competitors to the Google's Pixelbook. They are going to come in, as you can see on the right-hand side. You can see that the screen is a very high-performance screen, a very high-resolution screen at 2256 by 1504 with a 3.2 aspect ratio. It's going to come with a stylus, a pen, and if you look at the prices here, you're going to look at it'll come with the high-end processors. The i5 processor with storage will come in at about $949. And these machines, again, are meant to be replacement machines for Windows 10 PCs, and they'll be direct competition again with the Google's Pixelbook. But these are examples of the new, more powerful machines that are being released as the demand is there. I have comments about Chromebook storage. And I wanted just to let everybody know, most Chromebooks will come with an SD slot or a micro SD card. And just to let, the amount of storage that you can get on these cards is incredible. And this is an example of a 512 gigabyte card that you can put in there and expand the storage quite a lot. Now, Google has a new program called the Grab and Go project. Here you see Chromebooks. An example would be this: maybe you're going to a conference or you have to do a presentation to a business. Business would have a stack of these Chromebooks there. You'd simply grab a Chromebook, take it in, log into your Google account. All your information is there. Use the Chromebook. Drop it at the drop it back on the stand. When you're finished, it would sanitize itself and be ready for the next person to use it. This is one of the cool features of Chromebooks, is that you can erase your data very easily. Last but not least, I wanted to talk about Lenovo's Chromebook 500E. This was launched in February. I like Lenovo. They make very good machines. 2 models to choose from. You can have a look at there. It has the Apollo Lake processor. They're fast, they work well, and they come in at around $300 to $400, depending on the what hardware configurations you want. Now, in closing, I wanted to talk a bit about Linux. This has been announced this last 3 or 4 months, and it's called Project Christini, and this will be available when on the stable Chrome platform when the version 69 comes out. And if you're in, this is an interesting YouTube video. I've put the link at the bottom there for you. On the right hand side here, you will see this was a video shot at the New York Linux user group by a pair of special guests. They were David Reevman and Zach Reisner, who are the lead, they call themselves Linux hackers, working for Google to allow and enable Linux to run on a Chromebook. Now, you were always able to run Linux apps on a Chromebook, but you had to use a third-party application called Crouton to let this happen. With the next version, which should be out in another month, you'll be able to run Linux applications directly on a Pixelbook. For details on this, you can watch this YouTube video that I've given reference to. I think this will be a big thing, particularly for people interested in Linux. I've been to a number of Linux user groups, and I think this will be a popular feature, and you'll be able to actually run your Linux application right from the Chrome screen. All right, I guess we've finished the presentation, and I'll open this up for any questions that you might have.
Okay, I got to get back here and everything. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. Just want to make sure I got everything set. Okay, we got some other questions while people are typing in their questions. Okay, for what situations would you recommend against using or moving to a Chromebook?
I think the question would be, who should not use a Chromebook? I think that it depends on the applications that you're using. If you have a mission critical application that is only written in Windows, obviously that creates a problem and wouldn't be applicable. Other than that, I don't see any reason why, with today's Chromebooks that we have this summer, why you wouldn't be using a Chromebook.
Okay. Okay. Using a Chromebook for this presentation.
Am I using a? No, I'm not using a Chromebook. I'm not. I'm a little bit nervous with Zoom. I have used Chromebooks presentations. I've done Chromebook presentations a lot, but on this particular one using Zoom, I'm just a bit nervous. I guess I could have, but I sort of chickened out.
Yeah. Well, I do know that a couple of our users do use Zoom to watch the videos, watch Zoom presentations.
Right.
I don't know of anybody that's actually given one.
Yeah, and
know
I don't either. So I didn't want to do that today for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Oh, I understand. So are you saying that the Chrome OS is undeniably more secure than Linux?
Well, that's a good question. Which would be more secure, Linux? Well, Linux is pretty secure. I think the Chromebook with the TPM chip will make it probably more secure.
Okay. Okay. And does the Chromebooks have Bluetooth?
Yes, for sure. They all Chromebooks have every single Chromebook made has Bluetooth, and I would certainly recommend if you're going to I would recommend Bluetoothing a mouse. If you're going to use I use a mouse with my Chromebook, and it works out well with Bluetooth.
Okay. So some people are looking for the GOT link. So we'll make sure that the people that ask for it, that it does go out in the email after the presentation. Okay, so none of the any Android app, but you're not going to have no Word or any other programs going to run on the Chromebook.
I'm sorry. What was the question?
So unless it's in the Android App Store, the Google Play App Store, it will not run on the Chromebook.
Well, of course, there is the Chrome Web Store, which has a number of apps in the Chrome Web Store, and that was the traditional spot where all the programs for Chromebooks came from. The Android apps has been a development that occurred over the past 2 years. And initially, when the Android apps were released, for Chromebooks, there was a lot of trouble with some of them, particularly with displays, because when they wrote the original apps, the displays, of course, were for cell phones, which had a much smaller screen. So there were some issues regarding screen size and formatting screens, but that mostly has all gone away now. As the apps have been upgraded.
Okay, because I said someone was saying they have Word in the web store, but I guess if you're on the web and you go to the Microsoft website and run the Word that's on the web, you could probably work it.
Well, you could do that, but also don't forget that those are all Android apps now, because of the tremendous popularity of Android. I think Microsoft made a decision early on to get to allow people who had Android to use it. So there's an Excel Android app, there's a Word Android app, which are all out there, and you can download and use those apps.
But if you go to the web, if you go out onto the web,
sure,
and the program runs just on the web, and sure, you can use it.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Okay, how many Bluetooths can you run at a time on a Chromebook?
I don't think there's any limit to, I mean, most people you might want to, let's see, you'd run a mouse. What other devices? I don't think there's any limit. The limit would be Bluetooth rather than a Chromebook. I don't see.
I realize that, but I'm thinking some devices you can only connect up one device to one device.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But so the Chromebook will allow more than one device.
I think so. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Can you play a DVD or CD on a Chromebook?
Good question. Most computers and laptops you buy now do not come with DVD or CD devices. A Chromebook you can connect a DVD to a Chromebook if you have an external Chromebook. There are no Chromebooks that come with CDs or DVDs. You can connect the DVD to a Chromebook, and you can see the files on the DVD. But of course, if you have any programs or software that you require to run those files, of course, it won't run on a Chromebook.
Well, you can download VLC.
Yeah, you could. But you know, if there's any software, any drivers that are required, it's not a. Remember, you have to remember, a Chromebook is not a Windows machine.
Yeah, I know. Okay, well, just go to Netflix and rent it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How easy it is to use a Chromebook if you're not connected to the internet?
All right. So you do not have to be connected to the internet to use a Chromebook. Most of the software that you have can be used offline. Again, you have if you want to use Gmail, for example, Gmail has an option for offline use. It will download, and you can do all your Gmail offline, and then as soon as you connect back up, it'll go online. I don't really see that as a problem using a Chromebook.
Okay. Someone wants to know, how do you acquire Neverware?
It's free. It's free of charge. Just go to I didn't put the link on there, but just go to www.neverware.com. I'm pretty sure that, or do a Google search on Neverware. They've got a very, very good website. They'll take you right to the download center, and they'll download the software right on your machine for you.
Okay. They said, has printing from Chromebooks improved?
Printing from Chromebooks, yes. Again, most of the new, I didn't talk about that in this particular talk, printing on Chromebooks, but most of the printers now, if you go and you look at Best Buy, Staples, Costco, they'll come and it says cloud ready, and these are meant to be easily connected to Chromebooks. Again, you can't physically connect a Chromebook to a printer. There's no way you can do that. So it has to be printed through the cloud. So you do have to be connected to the internet to print.
Okay. One thing I wanted to say while we're waiting for any more questions is to advise everybody that our own Huey Poplock does maintain a website, Chromebooks for Seniors, that if anybody's interested is at cb4s.net.
Yes, I know Huey, and he does a very good job on that.
Yes. And just saying that he answers a lot of questions and a lot of reviews and stuff on
Yes.
Chromebooks.
Yes.
Okay, does anybody have anything else?
Dave, if I just want to maybe sum it up here is, well, there are a lot of Chromebooks available on the market today made by Lenovo, Acer, some of the people that we've talked to today. The goal of the presentation today was to highlight the consumer grade, the more advanced Chromebooks that have just come out on the market this summer. I've tried to give a review of those current models and machines that really will be Windows replacements.
Did you stop?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you quit or stopped. Okay. Someone asked if we'll play a DVD. No. Okay. Everybody else is thanking. So if you have any questions, we're done. I'll leave the chat open for a little bit so that people can put in some questions. Okay, one guy has been asking, is there a way to turn off the login screen?
Turn off the login screen?
Somebody typed, is there a way to turn off login screen?
No, there is no. I mean, you would have to log in because for security reasons, you have to log in to the Chromebook. I don't see the same as Microsoft, the same as Apple. When you log in, you have to log in. I don't see how you could ever turn that off.